We've talked about it a lot the last few weeks. How many guys at how many positions can you pay at the top of the market? And that's what they've done. And it's cost them some depth and some other things there. So, yeah, they gotta trim the fat. They got to start over, certainly. And it's officially over, that Super Bowl era team that had a great run, and I know it wasn't as great as they wanted it to be, but yeah, they're taking a step back to try to take 2 steps forward, free up salary cap space for the future, and open up some roster spots so they can build a team to make a new run as they go forward in the Shanahan-Lynch era.
Put that graphic back up, please. That was tweeted last night by Cam Inman. That comes from the official game book. That's the NFL's statistical breakdown of the entire game. It goes on, and it finishes with like playtime percentage, snap counts for every play. There's a lot of information in the game book. That's the first page of the game book from Super Bowl 58 between the Chiefs and the 49ers. The red lines are crossed through the names of players who are no longer with the 49ers. 11 of the 22 starters are gone. It's been 1 full season since that game. And 11 of the 22 starters from Super Bowl 58 are gone from the San Francisco 49ers. And we know that things turn over quickly in the NFL, but that, Chris, is jarring that an elite team, after just 1 season, has half of their starters out the door.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think you could have made the argument, after they lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, that you could have started to plan for the future. Right? But either way, you bring it back. You try to make it one more run. You go, wait, we got the whole nucleus back here. Let's try to do it again. But with the contract disputes in the offseason last year, injuries to certain guys, it just all went the wrong way. And the 49ers, I think, finally looked at it and said, yeah, the shelf life of this team is over. But, hey, put that graphic back up again, too. To the point there, yeah, there's some ballers that are not there anymore that have been crossed out. But also, let's look at the guys that are there. Trent Williams, highest paid left tackle in football. George Kittle, top 2 or 3 highest paid tight ends in football. Christian McCaffrey, second highest paid running back in football. Brandon Ayuk, 4th highest paid receiver in football? Brock Purdy's about to get paid. Nick Bosa's the 3rd highest paid D lineman. Fred Warner's top 3 at linebacker. DeAndre Lemonor, that you see there, number 2, is one of the highest paid nickelbacks in all of football.
Diamador Lenore, you have found a way to take his last name and his first name. You've done this twice now and turn it into a new name. What did you say his name is?
DeAndre Lemonor. I don't know what I've done anymore. I've butchered it every which way the whole week. And I've had people in my ear talking to me sometimes who are like, you're an idiot, say it this way. And I still mess it up.
Now I'm going to think of him as DeAndre Lemonor, not Diamador Lenore.
Oh, man.
All right.
But you got my point. You know what I mean. They still got people they're paying. And, of course, yeah, they got to make some moves here if they want to compete in the future.
We apologize to anyone out there actually named DeAndre Lemonor. And we apologize to Diamador Lenore. But you're right. There's going to be more of this. And, Chris, we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I'm looking at the clock. How are we not almost done with the show? It feels like we should almost be over today. It feels like we've covered a lot.
It does. It does, yeah.
There was an item from Mike Silver of The Athletic over the weekend.
Right.
About the organizational reset with the 49ers.
Yeah.
And when you read between the tea leaves,
yeah,
as a wise man once said, not DeAndre Lemonor, but somebody else, it feels like Kyle is losing some of his juice. It feels like Jed York and Parag Marathe are reclaiming the purse strings. And we're not going to have any more of these run upstairs and tell John Lynch not to trade Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers. He's going to take the contract offer because in hindsight, that didn't work. And it sounds like they're going to start counting beans a lot more carefully than they have been. But my response would be this. The front office has screwed up in multiple respects because they wait too long to pay their guys. It's the same thing as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa's got to hold out of all of training camp in the preseason to get his contract. What does that do? That causes him to not be as effective in the season after he got his contract. Deebo Samuel, all of 2022, all the stuff Deebo had to do to get paid fairly by the 49ers. And they finally did. And he missed all of the offseason and I can't remember when he finally signed, but he wasn't the same guy because he wasn't there and getting ready.
Right,
So
he was out of shape.
There's just been a weird disconnect there. And I'm this is not a gratuitous compliment for Kyle. I feel like the 49ers fall into the category, and there's several teams in this category. They're dysfunctional, but they have a coach who's able to mask some of it. And I feel like Kyle has been masking some of the dysfunction that flows from the top of the organization in San Francisco. And my concern is, if Jed York and Parag Marathe are reclaiming their piggy bank, the dysfunction is going to flow. And, I said after they lost Super Bowl 58, at some point Kyle Shanahan's got to take the Andy Reid track. If he's ever going to become Super Bowl winning head coach, I thought he was the next Bill Belichick when it was first starting. I feel like it's going to be in his best interest at some point to go somewhere else. And if they're going to start micromanaging, and if they're going to start counting beans, and if they're going to stop letting him keep the guys he thinks he needs to keep, the sooner they move on from each other, the better.
Listen, you said a lot of interesting things there. I hear you. I know you've said that about the Andy Reid thing and all that. Let's see what they do when they recalibrate their football team and, give this new team that we're going to see in the future and chance and what they can do with it there. Have they been frivolous maybe with spending money? Sure. Yeah, I don't disagree there. I think they are the type of organization. Shanahan and Lynch are the type of guys that, we praise all the time. They go to win the Super Bowl. They're not into what you always talk about, Jerry Jones. Oh, we just want to be competitive and good, so they talk about us. They've been one of those teams that pushes the chips in the middle of the pile and goes, we're going for it. They've done that. So now it's time to pay the Pied Piper, certainly. And, yeah, they got some issues there. And I don't know some of the things you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know what the thought is there in the organization. It's not like I'm having those type of conversations with Kyle Shanahan or anything like that. He doesn't want to tell me stuff like that when we do talk. Right, but the ownership and Parag and everybody maybe taking back power or whatever, and maybe thinking Lynch and Shanahan have been too aggressive with contracts and players. I don't know. You certainly can look at that and connect some dots to a degree as far as what they've done with the football team. But either way, they're a team in transition. I think Shanahan's the man. We'll see where this goes. But, yeah, they're definitely in a spot here where you look at their team now and look at what they're doing, where you go, man, this is the first time in a while you go, I'm not going to just pencil in the 49ers as being one of the best teams in football going into a regular season. Got to see what they're going to do with the draft. Got to see what they're going to do with the rest of free agency, because it's a totally different-looking football team now.
Hey, they got to figure out what to pay Brock Purdy. The easy question is,
that's right,
extend him? Yes. The harder question is, for how much? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.